Have you ever felt like something just isn't right with the world, but you couldn't quite put your finger on it? Like there's a veil over your eyes keeping you from seeing the full picture? What if the truth isn't just hidden? What if it's been deliberately buried by those who understand its power and are determined to keep it from you? There is knowledge out there, real transformational knowledge that could set you free, but it's been locked away, guarded, obscured, not because it's dangerous to you, but because it's dangerous to them, to the institutions, systems, and individuals who maintain control by ensuring you never learn how powerful you truly are. We're talking about knowledge of how your own mind works, of how human consciousness can be manipulated, and of the universal laws, ancient, immutable principles that silently govern our reality every second of every day. Mark Passio, a former dark occultist turned truth teller, dares to reveal what lies behind the curtain. He exposes a system meticulously designed to keep humanity ignorant, distracted, and disempowered. A system that doesn't just exist in governments or religions, but in the very fabric of modern society. And once you understand how this system works, you can begin to break free from it. Imagine a master key, not a metaphorical one, but an actual framework for unlocking the invisible chains that bind your perception, your potential, and your sovereignty. This key reveals how reality is truly created, and more importantly, how you've been taught to believe in an illusion instead. This isn't about adopting another belief system. It's not about faith, nor is it about blindly accepting what someone tells you. It's about personal discovery, action, alignment, truth. The truth isn't hidden because it would hurt you. It's hidden because it threatens those who profit from your ignorance. At the center of this understanding is something few people even know exists as natural law. Not the soft, diluted version pushed by New Age circles, not spiritual platitudes designed to soothe, but the real natural law, immutable, discoverable, and universal. These laws govern cause and effect across all levels of existence. Just like gravity doesn't care whether you believe in it or not, natural law functions regardless of human opinion. And just like gravity, its consequences are real, immediate, and inescapable. Once you begin to see how natural law governs consciousness, how thoughts lead to emotions, which lead to actions, which create outcomes, you realize something profound. The reality we live in isn't random. It's a direct reflection of collective human behavior. And those in power, they understand this all too well. They've created an imbalance, one that is not accidental. By keeping the majority ignorant of how natural law works, they ensure control. They don't need force to dominate. All they need is your attention diverted. Look around. It's everywhere. Distractions dressed up as entertainment. Narratives carefully crafted by media and education. A society obsessed with trivia, while the deeper truths remain buried beneath layers of noise. Why? Because the moment you understand how the mind works, how behavior is shaped, how emotions are triggered, you start asking real questions. You stop playing the game they've set for you. Take the symbol of the pyramid. At the bottom sits the majority, confused, distracted, obedient. At the top, the few, those who understand the rules of reality and use that knowledge to influence and control. Are they more intelligent? No, more divine? Absolutely not. They are simply more informed. So what happens when people stay ignorant? They continue desiring things like freedom, joy, or peace, yet they don't understand the universal causes that give rise to those conditions. They mistake effects for sources. And without understanding those invisible forces, humanity remains stuck in cycles of confusion, conflict, and suffering. Mark Passio emphasizes that to truly understand natural law, we must remove all traces of belief. This is not religion, not dogma. It is a science, a moral science. It is objective, discoverable, and eternal. Denying it doesn't protect you from it. If a person leaps from a cliff declaring, "I don't believe in gravity," will they float? Numb? They will fall. Because belief is irrelevant to law. Natural law works the same way. At its core, it connects human consciousness, our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions to the results we experience individually and collectively. These three aspects are the axis of our being. When they are aligned, we become powerful. When they are fragmented, we become lost. Thoughts are the creative essence, the spark of manifestation. Emotions serve as our internal compass, guiding us toward truth or warning us of distortion. Actions are the bridge between the inner and outer world. They are how we sculpt reality itself. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions are in harmony, you are in alignment with what ancient traditions called unity consciousness. That's when you stop reacting and start creating. That's when your reality changes. But how exactly do these laws function? What's the framework? Natural law is based on 7 core principles, unchanging truths that govern all aspects of existence. 1. Mentalism. Everything begins in the mind. All matter, all motion, all experience starts as thought. The universe itself is a mental construct of the creator. If you want to change your world, you must first change your mind. 2. Correspondence. As above, so below, as within, so without. Your inner world is reflected in your outer experience. The macrocosm mirrors the microcosm. Understanding this relationship brings balance. 3. Vibration. Nothing rests. Everything is in motion. Even the objects we call solid are vibrating at a frequency. All manifestation is energy in motion. Shift the vibration and you shift the form. 4. Polarity. Everything has an opposite, but those opposites are actually 2 extremes of the same spectrum. Light and dark, hot and cold, joy and sorrow. Understanding polarity helps you find unity beyond apparent division. 5. Rhythm. Everything flows. Like a pendulum, energy swings between extremes. Life moves in cycles. Recognizing this rhythm allows you to find stability amidst change. In the previous part, we explored the foundational principles of natural law, ending with the idea that every action we take returns to us, shaping the reality we live in. Now let's dive deeper into the one principle that holds the key to unlocking your true creative power. Cause and effect. This is not just a philosophical idea, it is a universal law operating with unwavering precision. Every single thought you have, every emotion you hold, every action you take, it all matters. Why? Because it all goes out into the universe's energy, and it all comes back. Nothing is lost, nothing is meaningless. What you project outward through your mind, your heart, and your behavior echoes back into your life like ripples on a pond. This is the real secret behind what people often call karma. But unlike mystical interpretations, this isn't about punishment or reward. It's about alignment, about law. Understanding causality means understanding that your reality is not happening to you. It's being created by you moment by moment. And when you grasp this, something incredible happens. You stop reacting unconsciously and you start creating with intention. Among all the natural laws, cause and effect is perhaps the most direct and the most empowering. It tells you in no uncertain terms that your outcomes are not random. They are the natural consequences of what you've put into motion consciously or unconsciously. Look around you. The world, its chaos, its injustice, its beauty, its breakthroughs is the visible result of causes that began long ago. Seeds planted by past thoughts and actions, both personal and collective. But here's the problem. Most people stay trapped at the level of effects. They're overwhelmed by problems, symptoms, and crises without ever asking what's causing them. They try to change outcomes without addressing the roots, and as a result, they stay stuck, repeating the same mistakes, living out the same loops of frustration. As Mark Passio points out, if you want a different outcome, you must change the cause. There is no other way. Ignoring this truth means surrendering your power. It means chasing shadows, hoping for luck, or blaming fate. It means living as if life is happening by chance. But let's be clear. There is no such thing as coincidence. What many call luck or randomness is simply a law not yet recognized. In a universe governed by natural law, nothing is truly random. Every so-called coincidence is the result of unseen causes, patterns of energy, thought, and behavior that have gone unnoticed but not inactive. When you awaken to this truth, you stop being a passive observer and you start becoming an active creator of your life. So why do most people struggle to see this? Because we've been programmed not to. Yes, programmed. That's not an exaggeration. Mark Passio makes a striking comparison. While we're not machines, the way human consciousness develops is remarkably similar to how a computer is programmed. The earliest years of life, especially the first 6, are like the formatting phase of a hard drive. A child's mind is wide open, highly impressionable, and absorbing information at a rapid pace. During this phase, beliefs are not questioned, they are simply downloaded from parents, from culture, from the environment. Aren't. This is where the mind's foundational software is installed. If toxic, distorted, or limiting beliefs are planted during this time, they become deeply embedded and continue influencing thoughts, emotions, and actions for decades to come. This early programming shapes the very lens through which we see reality. Culture, as Passio emphasizes, acts as the operating system of humanity. It tells us what is normal, what is right, what is possible, even when it's completely out of alignment with truth. And here's where the danger lies. When a culture embraces moral relativism, the belief that truth is subjective and that right and wrong can be twisted to suit personal or political agendas, it corrupts the human mind software. The result, confusion, contradiction, and ultimately, chaos. A corrupted program cannot run in harmony with natural law. And when enough individuals operate under that corruption, the entire society begins to break down, just as a system crashes when its code is full of errors. But it doesn't stop in childhood. The programming continues through schools, media institutions, and entertainment. We are constantly being updated, but not with truth, with distractions, with fear, with distortions. Those who hold power understand this dynamic very well. By controlling the flow of information, by shaping belief systems, they gain the ability to influence behavior on a massive scale. If the input going into your mind is false, fragmented, or manipulated, the output, your thoughts, choices, and experiences, will reflect disorder, confusion, and suffering. But if the input is true, rooted in natural law, aligned in with higher consciousness, then your life begins to reflect clarity, empowerment, and peace. That's why Passio insists knowledge is the first step to reprogramming the mind. It begins by seeking truth, not passively consuming information, but actively processing it, turning it into understanding. And then, most importantly, acting on that understanding. That's how faulty programming is overwritten. That's how we shift from being manipulated to being sovereign. Of course, this isn't easy. It requires time, it requires courage, it requires vigilance. But the reward is freedom. Ultimately, human behavior is the direct result of what we allow into our minds. And that means the single most important skill you can develop is discernment. Ask yourself, what am I allowing into my consciousness each day? Are the books I read, the shows I watch, the conversations I entertain, are they nourishing my mind or corrupting it? Because whatever dominates your mind will direct your actions. If you permit deception, fear, and distraction to shape your thinking, your reality will mirror that chaos. But if you align your inner programming with truth, deep, universal truth, you become the conscious architect of your life. This is not just theory, it's a call to action. Natural law isn't something to be believed, it's something to be lived. The path to freedom begins when you align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with these eternal principles. No one can walk this path for you. It is a personal journey, but it is also the only way out of manipulation and into sovereignty. Knowledge must be absorbed. Understanding must be cultivated. Wisdom must be applied through deliberate ethical action. And when individuals do this, when enough people awaken to the truth, the collective reality transforms. They don't want you to know this, because when you know, you can no longer be controlled. But now you do. So the choice is yours. Will you remain trapped in unconscious cycles? Or will you rise into your power as a conscious creator of reality? Reality is not something that happens to you. It is generated through you. Align with natural law, reclaim your sovereignty, and shape the world you were meant to live in.